What's up, guys? So it's pretty obvious that I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think it's one of the best fighting games out right now, and I think it's really well made, and the developers are doing a pretty good job of listening to people's feedback and making changes to kind of improve the game. But I do think that there are some issues that still remain that are kind of preventing the game from reaching its full potential. So today I've made a list of the top 5 biggest issues that still remain in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So these are just, in my opinion, the problems that I have with the game, the small things that are kind of bugging me about the game that I hope will be fixed in an upcoming revision. So let's jump right into the list, guys. So first up is that I think the characters are a little bit too simple and they all play a little bit too similarly. So for example, so many normal moves overlap across the characters, like pretty much everyone's down medium is like a slide or like a low kick, and everyone's down heavy is like an uppercut. And the characters don't have very many moves. Most characters only have like 3 special moves, and usually one of them is a Kamehameha, so there's a lot of overlap there. And pretty much every character can do like the same basic bread and butters and just end their combo with super. Most supers are only really useful as combo enders. Obviously, there are exceptions. There's characters like Zamasu, who he has 3 supers, and one of them is like really able to be used really creatively in neutral situations to set up mix-ups. The same with Piccolo. So I wish that in future versions of the game, I think that they should give every character a new special move and bring every character up to having 3 supers. That would really help differentiate the characters, make them feel more different. And even more, I would like if they could add an additional selectable assist for every character. Or maybe even 2 assists, let you pick between 3 assists like you can in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3. I think that would go a long way to really opening up team composition and making things more interesting in terms of what you can do to make the most interesting and fun team for you. The next issue I want to talk about has to do with online play. So it's a big problem that when you're trying to find an online match, you can see the name and the threat level indicator, the little colored square, of the person before you decide to play against them. So what happens a lot is that if you have a high rank, like if you have an orange square or a pink square, people will see that and they're just going to not fight you because they think that they're going to lose and they don't want to lose points. So it's a little bit too easy to kind of groom your rank by just turning down matches, and it punishes you for doing well because the better you do, the higher your rank, the less people are going to want to play against you. Plus, like if you play against someone and he beats you, you're going to go, no way, I recognize this username, I'm not playing this guy again. Games like Tekken 7 have fixed this issue by showing only the connection strength of the person you're about to play. So that way, you know, if it's laggy, you don't have to play, but you don't get to decide, okay, this guy's too good, I'm not going to play him. So that would be a really big fix that I think would make online a lot more seamless. The number 3 issue that I want to talk about here is the story mode. I think the story mode is just really boring. It's like a huge slog. It's basically just going through all of these identical maps, just fighting hordes of brainless AI opponents. The only really reason that it gets hard is when they give the AI like an insane amount of health and damage. They're pretty like easy to fight, and you don't really have to think as you're going through it. I do actually really like the cutscenes that they show in story mode, but I don't like that you have to like chug through a handful of fights between every one. It gets really, really boring. And normally I would just say like, okay, well if you don't like the story mode, you don't have to play it. You can just ignore it. But one of the coolest characters in the game, Android 21, is locked behind the story mode. You have to play all the way through it, which can take like a dozen hours or more to unlock Android 21, unless you pay money for the season pass and then they just unlock her for you immediately. So it's a huge bummer. I always think that for online and versus mode, all the characters in a fighting game should be unlocked from the start. If the game wants to make you unlock them for single-player content, that's fine, but I shouldn't have to go through like a dozen hours of story mode that's really boring before I can play my favorite character in online matches. So I would kind of wish they would cut down sort of all the filler in the story mode. Just give us the good stuff, give us what we want. Kind of similar to Injustice, or to a lesser degree Tekken 7. Like, it's got a better balance between cutscenes and gameplay, and I think those story modes are kind of a good model for what other fighting games should strive for in their single player. Next up, speaking of single player content, I want to complain a little bit about the combo challenge mode in this game. These sort of character combo trials, these seem really lazy and thrown together. Like, first of all, the first 3 trials for every single character is the exact same auto combo. Like, once you know how to auto combo, you know how to do it for every character. There's no reason to like waste all these combo slots on the exact same auto combo for every character. Also, it's crazy to me, this seems like a minor complaint, but it's really annoying that if you remap your buttons, which if you play on a fight stick like I do, you pretty much have to remap your buttons, the button displays on screen are incorrect. So when it says like square, triangle, circle, those are for the default settings only. Those do not apply if you remap your buttons. So it can be really hard to know like what buttons you're actually supposed to press. I wish they would just show like light, medium, heavy, and key, you know, instead of having to like figure out, okay, which button do I have mapped to triangle? So that's really annoying. Plus, I think that they're kind of too easy. There aren't really any sort of bread and butter worthy combos in here. And I understand that they want to introduce people slowly. They don't want people to be overwhelmed by really hard combos. But you can make the first few combos really easy, but make the last ones actually challenging. Really, the only challenging combos in the game, I think, are Zamasu's trials. His are actually pretty tricky. But everyone else, you know, if you know how to play fighting games, you're going to be able to do these in just a handful of tries. So I think that these challenges definitely seem a little bit like they were just thrown in at the last minute. I hope that if they do redo these, that they'll make them a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit more applicable in real matches, and get rid of the dumb filler of just having the auto combos. And the fifth and final complaint I have here about the game, a lot of you might have seen this coming, it's Cell. Cell is just a nightmare. So I think that they've done an okay job of balancing so far. When they nerfed characters like Android 16, Adult Gohan, and Vegeta, I think they did a pretty good job of bringing their power levels down a little bit, but not completely killing the character. Those characters are still playable, they still feel strong, they're just not as totally dominant as they were before. But Cell is more dominant than ever. They pretty much haven't touched him at all. He's received 0 nerfs, and now he's just by far the best character in the game. He's got the best rushdown, the best combos, and the best zoning. His beams are really good. He's got one of the best assists in the game with his beam assist that's angled downward. He's just crazy. He's really a flawless character. And if you look at tournaments, Cell is in almost every team that makes the top 8 because he's just too good. There's no reason to not put him on your team if you want to win. So with the combination of everything he has, he's just too crazy. I hope that they nerf something about him, whether it's his damage opportunities, whether it's the fact that he has his forward plus heavy, which is a low. Almost no other character has an extra low that they can do at the end of their strings like that. They need to do something to make him a little bit more fair, because right now it's a bummer how it's just like you either play Cell or you're handicapping yourself. So Cell's a problem. I hope he gets nerfed. So guys, that's going to be about it for the video. I hope that you enjoyed. Once again, I want to emphasize that I do love Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think it's a great game. These are just kind of my nitpicks, my issues that I'm pretty sure that Arc System Works knows about a lot of these. They're going to be going in and hopefully fixing these with an upcoming patch. So I'm anxiously waiting for the next update to the game, which will hopefully correct some of these issues. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.